Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting off a weekly vlog. I have had a very full day so far. I started out the day by going to the gym, and I think that is what kickstarted me to want to have a really productive day, but now I'm getting a little tired. It is 1 o'clock and I'm feeling myself tapering off, but I went to the gym, I went to a bar class. I love bar fitness, it's so much fun, and one of my local gyms has classes and I quite enjoy them. I am back to the gym. I've officially decided now that I am not having to pump 2-3 times a day that I'm gonna make time to go to the gym, because pumping was taking like hours of my day, and now I only pump once a day. So that's a little bit of an insight into our weaning journey. I've been breastfeeding for a year, and while I don't feel an immediate rush to stop just because we hit 1 year, I would like to move in that direction as we kind of get more comfortable giving her milk, like cow's milk, giving her food, and like getting her on a regular schedule with that, which is a learning curve. Like, it's feeding a whole other human who can't, like, I don't know. It's just a little bit confusing how it all works. But we went to the farmer's market on Saturday, and look at this bouquet. It is so beautiful. I saw people walking around with bouquets from this place, and they had just like the biggest sunflowers. So I was like, we need to find where people are getting these, and then there they were. So there's a bunch of really basic flowers in here, but this is honestly one of my favorite bouquets I've ever had. And I need to change out the water. I just noticed it was looking a little bit murky. Hold on, I'm gonna do that before I forget. Yeah, so after I got back from the gym, I had to do some fixes on the Potted Together episode that I edited. For some reason, the audio got all wonky. I don't know how it happened. I might have accidentally slid a track like after I finished editing. I really don't know. So I had to fix that. And while I was doing that, while I was listening to it, I was basically doing a bunch of life admin stuff, which, like, I have to be in a mood to do life admin. Otherwise, it just is not gonna happen. And I always thought that just meant like I was lazy, or whatever other like negative thing that I could insert into that trait of myself. But it's actually mostly because I have ADHD, and getting diagnosed with ADHD has made me feel like I'm so much less of a failure, because I really did think I was so lazy and like all these things, which is just so not true. I am not lazy. If you know me at all, I'm always moving, always doing things, which is also another ADHD trait. So anyway, I haven't talked a ton about that on this channel, I don't think, but I did want to talk about it more. So if you have any questions about, I don't know, late ADHD diagnosis, let me know. I'm always open to talking about it. Anyway, I was in the middle of making a sandwich, and then I decided to pick up the vlog. I got some sourdough at the farmer's market. We kind of didn't have a lot of food when we went, so it kind of turned into a little bit of a grocery shopping situation, which is how I've always wanted to use our farmer's market, but I don't know. I don't always have an empty fridge when I go, so I don't really feel like I need anything. But I just cut 2 pieces of sourdough for my deli sandwich, which I'm still very much doing deli sandwiches and enjoying them. I'm finishing up the edit as well of the video that you saw last week of sewing those new clothing items, and I'm kind of imagining what the next episode is going to be. I think I'm next going to make one of those tiered gathered skirts that everybody is wearing. Another one of my friends from the trip that I went on where I got the skirt inspiration, another one of my friends was wearing one of those tiered skirts, and I was like, I need one of those. And they're really easy to make. And actually, there's a sewing YouTuber and TikToker who, oh my god, anybody else got the fruit flies everywhere? So annoying. They have found my house. Here's what I've done to get rid of them, though. I pour boiling water down my sink once a day for like a week, and that usually cuts them down quite a bit because they live in the drain. Anyway, so I found a YouTuber who made a video on a tutorial for how to make the skirt, and it's like a self-drafted thing, which I don't usually prefer, but when it's just a bunch of rectangles, it feels silly to like find a pattern. Her measurements are actually nearly identical to mine, so I think I'm just gonna do exactly what she did, like down to the measurements, and I'll be able to make my own skirt. Now I just need to find a top that I want to go with it, because with this sewing series, I'm making a top and a bottom out of the same fabric. Mostly so that I can use all of the fabric, but also so that I can have like a little capsule wardrobe of sorts of things that go together, and it's just easy to put the outfits together. I don't have to think too much about it. My camera is totally fogged over, but we will continue on. It'll unfog soon once it regulates, but I have been getting absolutely eaten alive by mosquitoes. I have bites all over my body. They have infiltrated my clothes. They have, like, seriously, all over my stomach, all over my back. I don't know how they have done it. I don't know if anybody out there is a magnet to mosquitoes like me. We're using Max DEET. I hate wearing DEET. I hate the way it feels. I hate the way it smells. But you have to take precautions. I have to take precautions. This clip is absolutely ridiculous. Sorry. The garden weeds were absolutely insane. They still are. Let me show you what we're working with here. Basically just the grass has taken back over, and it was really bad through here. It was really bad through here and up through here. But I have come out diligently almost every night to pull weeds, and we are making some progress. I have found that hand pulling the weeds is the most effective way to remove them, although it is the most time-consuming and annoying way to remove them. It just gets the job done so much better because I'm able to actually pull the weed out from the root, and I know for sure that it's getting pulled out from the root. So yeah, what I do out here is I put on an audiobook and I just get to pulling. So I decided, well, Nora went down a little bit late tonight. She was totally wired until like 8 o'clock. It was so funny. She normally starts fading at like 6:30, but something was different today and she was really wired. So we let her stay up a little bit later. So I'm getting out here later. Normally I'm able to spend like a good hour pulling weeds until it gets dark. It gets dark like around 9. So I'm able to be out here. Normally this is around the time when I'm going back inside. It's like 8:30, but that's okay. I'll see how much I can do, probably in like 30 minutes. Also, if you saw my sewing vlog, I said that I'm listening to Legends and Lattes, and I am absolutely loving it. It's such a fun book. It's so cute and heartwarming, and just all of the things. I am really loving how cozy it feels. Cozy fantasy is a genre that I haven't really dabbled in yet because I do like the action, but I have really, really enjoyed this cozy fantasy book, and I am curious to look into reading more of them. Good morning. I just had a fantastic night of sleep, which is just the most incredible feeling in the whole world. Daniel and Nora just left, and last night I put on self-tan. I don't know if you can tell that I look a lot darker. I'm cooking in it for like a very long time. It says to leave it on for 1 to 4 hours. It's been definitely 12 and counting because it's still on, but I didn't want to shower it off until after I came in from pulling weeds. I've been pulling 2 a days doing these weeds, but basically it's like 8 something right now. So I'm going to pull weeds for a while, at least until it gets too hot. And then I have a yoga class that I want to go to at 10. So I did bar yesterday, and I just want to do something today that feels like gentle and chill, because I just feel like my body is craving like stretching. So we are going to do that today, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm going to go turn on the hose so that while I'm picking weeds, I can also be watering. That's something I've been doing, is just like letting the water run in the garden beds for a long time, you know, thoroughly saturating those plants. I get a lot of questions about if I have irrigation in the garden area, and I do not. It's probably like one of my #1 regrets out of everything that I've done at this property. Because it just is so silly that I didn't add it. I don't know why I didn't. I think I don't know. I thought that it would be rainy enough to keep the plants watered through the summer, but that is just not true, because we do hit a dry spell like around July usually, which is right now, and it gets pretty dry and the garden really suffers. And last year I had a fresh baby, so I was not able to come out here and water the garden, and my harvest was like next to nothing. So, you know, this year I've been able to come out and water at least once a day. Sometimes I do twice a day if it's like extra hot. And the garden is honestly doing very well comparatively. So that's very exciting and all around good news. And this is what I was doing last night. So my camera died when I was in the middle of this, and I got pretty far. I'm pretty proud of it. The weeds over here I thought would be a lot harder to pull, but they're not that deeply embedded. They kind of come out pretty easily, especially since I'm doing this by hand. I just got back from hot yoga and the grocery store. And you guys, I have to say that my yoga class was great. I thoroughly enjoyed, got very sweaty, and at the end, this was a cherry on top. I would go back just for this. She passed out a like really good smelling frozen washcloth at the end of the class. So I was like dripping in sweat. Disgusting, slipping all over my mat. And then yeah, at the end of it, she brings out just the most glorious smelling frozen washcloth. I was rubbing it all over my face like the whole time, because you know at the end of a yoga class how you kind of just lay there for a while. The whole time I was just like moving it around my face, like giving myself a little it was like a gua sha moment. It was so nice. And then after that, I went to the grocery store because I realized that when I went to Sam's, I really only got like snacky stuff and produce. So I needed to get like actual food to cook because yeah, we've been eating some interesting things for dinner and stuff. So I got my mom to send me some pictures of some recipes that she actually used to make when I was in high school. They're both from, I think it's like the Everyday Paleo cookbook or something like that. One of them is the Hasta la Vista Pasta Lasagna. And it's basically lasagna without the pasta, and instead you have really thinly sliced zucchini. It's so good. It is so good. And then the other one is the Puerto Rican beef, which is like, I don't know, it's like, well, it's a bed of kale, and then you put this like beef mixture, and then there's olives, and then there's sweet potatoes, and it's so good. Both of these meals were huge parts of my childhood growing up eating dinner. I love them. I got some pomegranate juice for my smoothies. I like usually making my smoothies with water, but I like to also sometimes throw in a little bit of juice. I got some ingredients for those meals. So some diced tomatoes, some bell peppers. I got more meat for my deli sandwiches, all of the zucchini. I am so excited for my garden to grow in so that I don't have to buy this kind of produce anymore, and I can just go out to the garden and get it, because I have bell peppers growing out there and 3 zucchini plants, which are so small still. I really hope that they end up taking off. I've got my big bunch of kale. It literally looks like a baby or a wedding bouquet because it's just so big. I got some strawberries, which I did break into on the way home because I also got Nutella. When I went to Italy in 2017 and I stayed with a family, that was honestly like one of the best summers of my life. Actually, probably the best summer of my life. They always had a big jar of Nutella and fresh apricots, like from their neighbor's garden or something like that, a tree. And they would peel the apricot in half, put a dollop of this Nutella in it, and then eat it. And it was like the most delicious treat in the world. Like, we'd have that after dinner. Honestly, a lot of my memories from that trip are just the meals that we ate together. Like, so much of it is around food. And it makes sense because food is a big part of Italian culture. But I saw these probiotic drinks and they actually just like looked fun. But then I saw that they are probiotic drinks. And I've had Poppy before and I had a hard time with it. I didn't love it. So these flavors looked interesting, watermelon and lime and wild berries and lime. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge and see if they taste good. We'll see. One thing about me is in the summertime, I really like a drink. So basically a lot of my grocery shopping lately has been me stocking up my drink situation. Sweet potatoes, tomato paste, a little boring, and then all of the meat for these various meals. So I have to record for the podcast now. So I'm gonna put away all of the perishables and go record. So we had a little bit of a wild turn of events this evening. There was a severe thunderstorm warning, and Daniel made me nervous, okay? So Daniel grew up in Iowa, so he's kind of been around the block when it comes to tornadoes and stuff. And I grew up in Tucson, Arizona. Obviously we don't get anything like that. But yeah, I was making dinner and I looked out the window and I saw this oak tree just like really swaying like a lot. And I was like, wind's really picking up out there. And Daniel, we were watching The Incredibles too. Great movie, by the way. Like got up really fast and like ran outside and was like looking at this ceiling, looking at the sky and like running around. And like I watched this fall. This tree is pretty scraggly to begin with, so like it's not a major loss by any means. All of this is obviously like dead, but yeah, it just like snapped off. And then that tree right here, I'm pointing at the trunk, That one had a big branch at the top snap off, and it's not like the healthiest tree to begin with, but a lot of the trees were like really moving around and it was pretty scary. One of the doors of my garden fell off, so or it got blown off in the wind, so I'm gonna go just like assess the damage and see if I can just reattach it, or hopefully I can just reattach it and it's not gonna be an intense situation. And like we had no warning, like we did not receive any alerts or anything, and typically we do get alerts like letting us know, but yeah, we didn't get anything this time. It just like came in really fast and left really fast. Okay, so he came out and closed the greenhouse door, which was good, and he closed this gate. Oh dear. It did get blown off. All of my garden plants look fine. They all survived. Oh my gosh, the weeds that I pulled here are regrowing. Can you see them? I cannot get by. I can't get in front of these weeds. Oh, it like ripped up the post. See, I don't even know what one does in this situation. Well, I might have to, I hope I don't have to replace this entire post, but if I have to, I guess I will. Okay, well, not as bad as I thought. My cantaloupe look a little bit wind blown, but nothing that they won't recover from. I'm sure that they enjoyed the nice drink. Everybody got a good drink out here. I'm not gonna have to water tonight, which is great. Oh my gosh, my sunflower. It looks like somebody ate it. I feel like with this being open, it's just like an invitation for animals to come in here. So I'm just gonna see about lifting this up to just close the gap. The greenhouse is fully intact, but that ladder fell over and so did the other ladder. Both of those need to be put away because we are officially done with them. I'm gonna come up to this barn area and see if any trees fell over here. I don't think that I see any fallen trees, so we're good in that department. We're getting our really beautiful Queen Anne lace, which is my favorite wildflower. It's popping up all over. And we also get a really cute purple one. You can kind of see it right there. I don't want to walk out there because we haven't cut the path in a while and there's probably ticks. But we get those and those are super cute too. Have I ever shown you guys our barn? I don't know if I have. We haven't done anything to it. There's some cardboard boxes in there and some wood from a tree that Daniel cut down. And there's like a little chicken coop thing on the side. And there's a section right here that I guess you could put animals in. I don't know. Again, we've never used it before. We just kind of have it here. It's not in the greatest of condition, but yeah, this is the scary chicken coop. I think that these are like roosting things. I don't know. I honestly don't know much about chickens, but this area was their outside run. It was fenced in, and then all of these plants started growing up in it. And a couple years ago, Daniel tried to take all of this down, but it was honestly a nightmare. I think that he broke his chain on his chainsaw like several times because he kept hitting like the metal fence or something like that. This is our really sad peach tree. It usually puts out like one peach a year and the deer eat it every single time. It's not cute or happy, really. I don't even really know why it's out here. And then I think that we have more grapes through here. This looks like grapevine, but I don't see any like grape bunches. I'm out of range for my monitor. Sorry if you can hear that like chime sound. Also, I wanted to show you our little apple tree, which Daniel and I are both confused on how it's still alive. Oh, I think I do see a down tree. Okay, let's go in here. It doesn't look like a big one though, so no need to do any chopping. I think it'll probably just easily be moved. This area is what we call the campsite, and it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, the lighting is just so pretty in here right now. Okay, yeah, this tree fell. This is a new thing, and it was dead. Obviously, the leaves are all cracked and gross. Where did it come from? I don't even know where it came from. Was it a branch? It might be a branch from one of these bigger trees. Honestly, I can't tell. Anyway, yeah, this is a fun little area. I had a hammock hanging up over there, which is really cozy. It's actually still over there. I just took it down. It's not hanging up right now. And we also have some stumps that you can sit on over here. Yeah, it's cute. I really love this little spot. It just kind of was open when we got here, and I think it'd be so cute to eventually build like a little cabin in this spot. I don't know like how exactly that would go, because there's obviously a lot of trees around. I don't know how it would go like building the foundation. Maybe you would build it up. And then also with all of these trees like falling, I don't know, it could fall on the building. I don't know. It's a thought for the future, because I think it would just be so cute to have a little cabin or like a yurt, you know, just like a permanent thing out here where you can like camp. I think it just would be so cute. Okay, but anyway, the grapes. This is a great view of them, actually. Look at them. I mean, I asked on Instagram if these looked edible, and because I don't know anything about grapes. We also did not plant these, so I was asking on Instagram, you know, about them in general, and a bunch of people told me that all grapes are edible. It just really depends on like which kind they are, to see like what the flavor will be like. But if you remember way back when we actually built the garden, this used to be some sort of grapevine situation, and it was completely taken over. It looked horrible, and we cut it back when we built this, and I kind of just put the wood on top of, I thought it was a tree. I didn't realize it fully that it was a grapevine. I don't really remember what I was thinking, but anyway, I just put it on top of this, the wood. And every year the grapes, I think they get eaten by birds most years, but this year the birds aren't really in them too much, but there is a bug eating it. As you can see, there is something going on, but I've never nurtured this area like with the grapevine because I don't really, oh, it's starting to rain. I didn't really know if they were edible, but now I know that they're edible. I feel kind of silly for not knowing that. And then this is actually a native milkweed. I just let it kind of grow wherever it wants to, because at one point I saw some monarch caterpillars on it, and just for the hope that that happens again someday, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, but this is our apple tree, and it puts off fruit every other year. I don't know what kind of apple tree it is, but a lot of the time the deer eat these before we even get the chance. We're actually not sure how this tree is even still alive. It's clearly in horrible condition. It looks like it got struck by lightning. Like it's definitely diseased. I don't know. There is something not good going on with this tree. But the year that we were going to cut it down, it put out apples. So we were like, well, should we cut it down? But yeah, we haven't done anything to it, and somehow it still puts out fruit. I don't know, only every other year. I know that I'm the human, but I feel so guilty kicking my dog out of his spot when I come inside after I've been outside and he's like all cute and cuddled up on the couch. But he literally always sits in my spot. Like, we can't both sit here. Okay, I'll let him be cozy for a few more minutes, but I wanted to show you guys the pattern that I'm starting for cross stitch. If you guys didn't know, I am a cross stitch girly now, and I've only ever made one thing, so I guess I can't exactly say I'm a cross stitch girly, but this is my progress so far. Okay, and I am making, wait, I don't want to show you that part because that's the pattern. This is what I'm making. I found this on Etsy a couple weeks ago, and I just have not been able to stop thinking about it, and I decided to just do it. I'm just gonna make it because I think it's so cute. I love that it's like a quilt design in cross stitch. I think that's like one of my favorite things, honestly. I love, like, it feels like mixed media art, but it's not, but that's what it reminds me of. I had all of the colors for it, not the exact ones that the pattern called for, but like pretty similar. So this has only cost me the cost of the pattern, which is like $4. I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. I've really delved into the world of cross stitch patterns on Etsy, and it is amazing. There's a lot of people who make patterns of like botanical drawings and stuff like that, like moths and butterflies and really cool stuff. So I'm really loving being in my cross stitch era. But here's the thing as well with this kind of stuff, with embroidery as well. When you make this, what are you supposed to do with it after? You know, because you could just like make like 10, 15, 20 cross stitch pieces, but then they just kind of sit there. Like, what are you supposed to do with them? That's another question. I have so many questions for you guys this week. But like, yeah, what are you supposed to do with it once you're done? I've seen people frame them, obviously, like that's a really common one. But I was thinking like maybe I could cross stitch on clothes. I've seen some like wash away cross stitch cloth, I guess it would be, so that you can see like where to make the X's. But other than that, I just really don't know like what the point is. Obviously it's fun, but like once you finish it, what the heck are you supposed to do with it? You know, I guess you can make gifts for people, but then what are they supposed to do with it? I know, not fun questions, but I really do wonder. All right, I'm watching Bridgerton season 3. I'm on episode 6. Things are really picking up here, and I'm super excited. It took me a long time to watch this, but I'm finally watching it. I finally have given myself time to just sit and do this, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good evening, everybody. I am only checking in now for the first time because I was filming a plant video out in the greenhouse today, but it's now time to make dinner, so I figured that I would bring you along. And yeah, hope you enjoy the cooking montage. Welcome back to the garden. We are not pulling weeds right now. I'm actually going to be taking measurements and notes for the improvements that I want to make in here. Because as I've mentioned, I think on my main channel, now that the greenhouse is done, I feel like I can put so much more effort into the garden. It's been a bit structurally neglected for a couple years because I was focusing on that.